Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do K Episode 3 review. Now, this week's episode of K, a flat-out good episode. It really was. And the main reason why is because we're finding out the system of the kings and how balance and order is maintained in this world of K. Now, of course, it also helps when you have Yatta going in there kicking some serious ass. Like, it was funny because this guy had a gun in Yatta's face, point blank. Yatta dodged the bullet and proceeded to kick ass. Heavy. I mean, out of all the red Klansmen, which I'll get into later, he seems the most prevalent, with the exception of Mikoto. But the thing about this episode is that it starts off where the first one kind of left off. Well, like, no, not the first episode, but like it kind of starts off where the first episode deviated away from Munakata and Mikoto when they had their face off, and then we see Mikoto, he's in jail and shit, and then Munakata proceeds to go in there and like wake his ass up and shit, you know, like by slamming his face against the wall. And what he was talking about, it was very, I caught a few things, but the first thing I noticed is that he was talking about his power, which I forgot the exact name. I forgot the exact name, but basically his power, he's his wife's fin or something of that nature. He's overusing it, and what happens is that if he overuses it, then the sword of Damocles will fall down and cause like an explosion or like some kind of crater, which apparently already happened at some point, called the Katu something, K something crater, alright? I'm not too sure what crater it's called. I forgot. But basically, what happens here is that Mikoto, I guess, is overusing his powers. I'm not sure what's going on here or why there's a strain for his power consumption. I'm not too sure what the exacts are. But apparently, Munakata suggests that he should, you know, like, pass on the throne to someone else, you know, pass on the powers to someone else, which apparently is how the kings are, you know, how the kings are regulated in each of the clans, because the way it was that the former, because apparently the Black Dog Kuro, apparently he was a clansman of the Colorless clan, and his master, I think his name is Miwa, he passed on the right to him. I believe so. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure exactly. But then came Shiro, and Shiro was saying like all this shit, like, you know, like they show you, like Homer shows the video, and apparently the person who looks like Shiro, or Shiro himself, shot a Red Klansman, and apparently the Red Clan is hardcore as fuck, which, you know, we see that, like, these guys are gung-ho, balls to the walls, like they don't give a fuck. And also, I noticed how there was well, actually, one key player here in this episode is a person named Fushima. I believe it's Fushima, because there's so many fucking names in this shit. I can't remember all of them. I can remember like bits and pieces of their name, but not all of them. But Fushima is apparently a part of the Blue Clan, and what we do know is that he was a former Reds Clanman. So I guess if you can, I think so. Like, they're allowed to, like, well, not allowed to, but it is possible to switch clans since we see Fushima, who is one of the Blue Klansmen underneath Munakata. He was a former Red Klansman. So, because there was an incident where after what's his name? After Munakata speaks to his assistant, or like his vice captain, I guess, Aoisawa, that female. Which, by the way, there was a nice shot of her ass. I'm not gonna lie to you, like that shit it looked really nice. I'm not gonna lie to you, but they're having a conversation about two things. The first thing was about what do we do with Mikoto. Of course, she was suggesting that we either kill him or we pump him with tranquilizers and muscle relaxants and all kind of shit. And then the second thing they're talking about was about the whole entire, you know, Shiro incident, about who that person who died, and apparently it was a Red Klansman, and Munakata wants to know everything that's going on. He wants to make sure that this shit's on lock. Code Royal Blue, which means like on lock, like yo, like we make sure that none of this shit goes fucking wrong. And what caught me off guard too was that apparently these kings have influence over the Prime Minister of Japan. And I was like, okay, so because I figured that, you know, these guys are running amok in this. Well, they're not running amok. Well, the Red Clan is Homura, but Sector 4, they're not Scepter 4, they're not really doing that. In fact, they seem to be more of the peacekeepers. Like there's the regular police that maintain regular people, and then we have Sector 4 here who maintain the clans. That's the way I see things. And also, what I noticed is that after they go through the whole entire thing, after we see Fushima, and Fushima's talking to like his other like Blue Klansmen guys, and they're trying to, and they leaked the info about the video that was sent like all over the fucking, you know how like the Homura, they put that video so everyone can see that shit. Well, the Blue Clan, like they leaked it as if like it was like a mistake or like, you know, like some kind of like gag or whatever. But the thing here is that Fushima, I believe that's his name, Fushima, he states that I hope the Greens don't fight out. And I'm like, the Greens? So yeah, so there's more clans here. In fact, out of all the clans that I know of, or not, out of all the kings that I know of, there are the Colorless King, the Red King, the Blue King, the Gold King, which apparently has super influence. I mean, like, super duper influence. Kuro was talking about how apparently the Gold King, like the shit that like they're eating with, like the spoons, the forks, the knives, the table that they're standing on, apparently like the Gold King like makes that kind of shit. You know, like he's apparently like this person is heavy into business and you know, like the what's it called here? The economy. There we go. Yeah, the economy structure in Japan at least. So those four, and the Green, because again, this guy Fushima stated, you know, I hope the Greens don't find out. So of course that lets me know that apparently there's a Green Clan too. And at some point, Fushima, we actually see him because Munakata was talking to Aoisawa about apparently the Homura. I believe it was the Homura. They had like a gun thing going on where like they were gonna try and open like a gun shop and shit, or something of that nature, or maybe they were tracking like some guy with like a gun shop. I'm not sure what the specifics were, but at the same time, we see the Homura and they infiltrate a warehouse where they are like all these guns hidden in these candy boxes. But Fushima, he cuts them off and shit. Like he, you know, like he goes in there. He like, I believe he kills his former clansman. That's what it looks like. And he reports this to you know, Munakata. And at the same time in this episode, we're seeing that Shiro he's trying to influence Kuro to not to kill him, basically. All right, that's the whole entire thing. And while Kuro is explaining the whole entire king and clan system, in fact, there was actually one random scene, really random, where this guy is like dancing in a fucking room, and he's twirling. As he's twirling, monitors appear underneath his feet, and then he does like a freaking pose and shit. And then this girl is like limp as fuck with like a mask on, which I would presume that she's dead. And it kind of threw me off. So maybe this guy is like a king too, like the Purple King. I don't fucking know. I mean, apparently the most violent and the most boisterous of the clans are the red ones. I mean, obviously. I mean, yo, Yata-san, like this shit was crazy because Yata went to like a location because apparently there was a situation there, or there was a supposed situation there where they could find Shiro, but it proved to be false. And then this one, I'm assuming that this person is a transvestite. This one transvestite was like, you know, like, help me out, you know, like, you know me, like, you know, like, this shit's crazy. Like, these guys came here, like, all these, like, mafia guys came here with like, guns and shit. And then the mafia guys, they come up to Yata. And Yata's like, are you fucking kidding me? Because apparently these guys wanted to know about Homura. And he's like, yeah, fine, you know, like, yeah, like, we're Homura, man. We're Homura, bitches. We're Homura, right? Mikoto, and then all of a sudden this guy shoots the freaking gun. Yada dodges the bullet point blank, so Yada's fast as fuck. And proceeds to do like a heel kick. Beats up the other dude, and then he grabs a gun, and he heats that shit up, and he presses it against this guy's forehead. And I was like, damn, like, you know, like so Yada is a ruthless motherfucker, and I like that. I do. But basically, that's pretty much it. At the end of the day, what happens is that, actually, no, another thing. Apparently, that girl, Neko, because according to Kuro, the kings, they give people power. And I believe that the kings get their own power via the Sword of Damocles. I'm not too sure how that works out exactly. But the thing here is that, or they're, because I'm not too sure if they're all called, if they're all called Swords of Damocles, but I think that the one for the red one is called the Sword of Damocles. Like that giant sword in the sky. But the blue one, the blue king had a different one. Like, it was a different sword, a different color, a different shade. So I'm not too sure if they're all known as Swords of Damocles. I'm not too sure. But basically what I'm trying to say here is that the Neko girl, apparently she has her own powers. Her powers are unique to her. They were not granted by a king. So that's why when Kuro first saw her, he assumed that she was a clansman to Shiro. He assumed that. But that wasn't the case. I mean, maybe Shiro does have some kind of power, because Shiro, because I believe that the girl we're seeing, she is the cat that he was taking care of. I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, because I don't see how else. Yeah, she is. But that's it. I mean, like, that's it pretty much. It's a good episode of K. It really is. It's just that there was so much shit occurring at one point in time. Because, I mean, like, the main thing I got was, like, the whole entire king system. That's what I got. But, the rest of the stuff, a little bit confusing. Either that or not enough info. Because, again, it's a series that the manga is not... The manga is, like, 2 chapters. And then this series, I believe, is going on its own, aside from the manga. And the whole entire, like, the pacing is fine. It's just that the way the anime is set up is that they're not going to give us questions. No, they're not going to give us answers until, like, we get into, like, a particular point in the series. Like, we got answers today about the whole entire kings and stuff. But the specific answers we're not going to get until later on as the series progresses. But even still, it's going to be, you know, a good thing, because we're still going to have, you know, that sense of anticipation waiting for those answers to come. Which they will. They will. But yeah, I'm done. I'm pretty sure I don't think I left anything out. I don't think so. I mean, if I do, I apologize. But other than, you know, Yata kicking this, you know, other than Yata kicking their asses and shit, and then finding out about Neko and, like, her power, which is ungranted by a king, and then the whole entire king system. Once again, the known kings that we know of are the red, the blue, the colorless, the golden, the green, and there's 7 kings apparently. There's 7 kings, so that means that there's 2 more, maybe purple and maybe yellow. I don't know. We'll see. But what I really want to see is, oh yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot. Apparently, the colorless king could see the future. Alright, apparently he could see the future. So, because I was figuring that these kings were more based on elemental powers, because we see the Homura and they're like a fire, and the blue guys is hard to tell what they were. But the colorless king seeing the future, yeah, so we have a whole break. So the possibilities when it comes to the powers of these clans, yeah, there's a pretty wide range. I mean, elements, no. Like, we go from elements to fucking seeing the future. So yeah, a nice broad scale here. I really want to see these other kings. I really do. Like, how powerful they are in comparison to Mikoto and Munakata. But yeah, overall, a good episode of K, and I'll see you guys later. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Peace. Have a nice day.